All right. Okay. Yes. That sounds pretty good, huh? How's that sound to you guys? Welcome to episode 3 of Fun Times with Tyler Fischer. Or we can call it episode, 56 of the Tyler Fischer Show. Can you let me know in the comments, please, do you prefer Fun Times? Oh, there it is. Haha. Speaking of fun times, got a fresh espresso right here. Do you prefer, and I will change the name if I get more votes for the Tyler Fischer Show. I had a little bit of postpartum depression for the old title, and then I went back and I saw, hey, I did 50-something episodes. Why am I just throwing away the name? I wanted to start fresh, but let me know what you think, and if I get enough votes for the Tyler Fischer Show, I'm switching over. I'm just going to switch it back, because I don't know how to go and change the name on the program that I put the episode out. Either way, just drop it in the comment right there. Cheers. Happy weekend. I'm not sure what's happening here. I got my flag at half mast here for Tucker Carlson and Bud Light. So, let's play some taps or whatever that song is. So first of all, you can check out some of my live shows on tylerfisher.com. Going to Nashville, going to Austin, Texas, going to Bama. Bama. You're a good old boy from Bama. What movie? You'd probably know because I only reference one movie on the podcast. 2 Utes. 2 what? What's a Ute?
Is it possible the 2 Utes?
2 what?
Alabama, Texas, Nashville, a show in a cavern, I think in Hoover, Alabama, in a cave. Times are wild. Comedians are performing in caves and underground. I got to do all these underground shows. I'm going to people's apartments. It's wild. It's a wild fucking time. It's like a speakeasy in the 19 whatever, whenever those happened. That's what's happening now. Wild. But we're locking people's phones up at the Comedy Cellar. It's insane. It's the only way to do it now. People say, oh, there's no problem with censorship. Oh, there's no issues with censorship. Yeah, go to the best comedy club in the world and watch them lock your phone up, because that's how bad it is. They don't want people filming and trying to get you canceled and all that shit. So I hope you come see me live. Sign my email list so I know what city to go to. I'm still working on getting a comedy agent, so be patient. I don't have one. You can't just like call a comedy club and, hey, I got this great new fresh talent. He's a hot new act out of New York City. Well, how new is he? 13 years. Click. So we're doing the best we can. Me and my manager John, reaching out to places. Sometimes they reach out to us, but it's a 2-man team right now. So that's what it is. That's what it is. I mean, I think I just hit 800,000 followers on the internet, which is crazy and awesome. And thank everybody for following, subscribing, all that jazz. But it's pretty wild that with the following approaching 1 million, nobody wants to work with me. And maybe it's because I'm suing an agent for discrimination or manager. I don't know. Who cares? Either way, that shouldn't matter. Doesn't mean I'm going to sue you unless you tell me to screw off Whitey. All right, we got so much happening here. First, I have to talk about Tucker Carlson because it's probably one of the biggest stories of the century. And he did announce, I don't know if you saw this, but he did announce his replacement. And boy, are we not surprised. So I'm going to play this clip right now. This is Tucker Carlson going live to announce who will be replacing him on Tucker Carlson tonight. Who's shocked? I'm not shocked. This guy's taking over the fucking world. He's in spandex, push-up bras for Nike while wearing Maybelline makeup. Why drinking a Bud Light? I mean, this is also mixed messaging. That's a lot of mixed messaging. What are you doing? Are you working out? Are you an alcoholic? Are you putting makeup on? Is that the maybe she's born with it? Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's a guy. Hey, fella, why are you wearing makeup? I don't like that, fella. I don't do enough Jim Gaffigan. But it's a fun voice to do. My wife's a real bitch. Don't you hate it when your wife takes all the Hot Pockets? Hot Pocket. Trans Pockets. Maybe Dylan could do a Hot Pockets. You know? And she takes a Hot Pocket, or he takes the Hot Pocket, and just shoves it right in his bulge, in his man bulge, warms it up, fucking cracks a Bud Light under his armpit. This is the new America. Here it is. It is a little bandana. Maybe that is the new America in bandana form. But either way, it's been a wild time, and I kind of hit the jackpot as far as the Bud Light stuff. But to wrap up on Tucker, look, if you like Tucker Carlson, then this is good news for you, because he's gonna go off. He's gonna start his own company. He's going to start his own brand. Also, fuck the media. Who cares? He wasn't always at Fox. He went to Fox, became the top-rated news show at night. Now he's gone. Their numbers have cut in half. Tons of people are going to stop watching. Actually, in fact, I saw a Tucker Carlson clip on the internet when he was talking about... What was he talking about? I think, something during the pandemic. That's all a goddamn mess, isn't it? Time is just a big old mess. But anyways, I saw a clip and I watched it and I go, that was really funny. I remember sending it to a friend. I was like, I've never watched Tucker Carlson, but this was a really funny segment. And that's what I liked about him, is he's funny. He's an entertainer. Whether you like him or not, he's the funniest news host on television, hands down. Hands down. And I think a lot of people watched him for the entertainment value. So he'll leave and he'll start his own company, or, geez Louise, I just want to see how many views his Twitter video got. So he put up a video basically saying nothing. Not nothing, but he can't comment on his, he probably can't comment on what's going on right now, but he put up a video basically just doing a short little 23 million views and 76 million started watching it. So Twitter does this new thing where you can see the views. You'll see 2 views. It's a little confusing, but it's good for bragging because you can just say, you can just use the bottom number. It's always like 3 times as high. So 23 million watched the clip and 76 million probably watched a portion of it. But that's 76 million people. That is, how many we have in this country? 350. That's like a fifth of the country. Am I right? 75 times 4 would be 300 million, and then 350 million. So it's more than a fifth of the entire country, as far as numbers, watched that clip of Tucker. And he just did his monologue, basically. It didn't look good because it was like a selfie video, but that's what I'm going to miss most, that laugh. Come on. Good evening and welcome to... You want a little healing, go watch. He's got some compilation videos of him just him giggling. And here's what I'll say about Tucker. My whole life, brainwashed lefty, right? I was told he's racist and he's transphobic and all this stuff. And I will say, I'm absolutely more than happy to say, what I've watched of him, nothing racist about it. He is harder on Republicans than most people at CNN, and I mean, he goes in so hard where so many Republicans are afraid to even go on his show. So that was where I was surprised, where I will admit I was wrong, because I was always like, he's as he would say, racist. Everything's racist. And I don't think he is. And everything is racist now, and I'm sick and tired of it. So that's it. That's the chapters closed on Fox. So we're losing Fox News. We're losing Bud Light. What left do we have in America? You know, Fox News, beer. What's left? What is left? So on to the Bud Light thing. I was walking through the park with my dog, and this woman's kind of checking out my dog, and he goes over to her. I mean, I have him trained to walk over to women and sit in their laps. You didn't hear that from me. I have him. I mean, it's not for women. It's not just for women. I have to give him permission to say hello to anybody. So if a guy's calling him over, or a girl's calling him over, I wouldn't say girl, but now everyone's saying that girlhood is the thing again. Remember when you weren't supposed to say girl? You said, it's not a girl, it's a woman. And now we're all back on the girl bandwagon because of Dylan Mulvaney, her days of girlhood. And so I can be a misogynist again. How great is that? Because of all these trans men, I can be misogynistic again and sexist. So I saw this little girl in her little school dress. She was so sexy and hot. And my dog goes, I said, go say hi. And my dog will literally run over and jump in somebody's lap. And, it doesn't hurt the dating life. So I said, what are you doing? You got the day off? What are you doing? I'm trying to talk to people again. You know, I'm out there. I'm out in the field. It's really fucking hard. Everyone's so closed off. So I have a rule where I try to talk to one person every single day. It doesn't even have to be a romantic interest. It's like just strike up a conversation with somebody and see what happens. She said, I'm having a rough day. I had to get out of the office. What do? I'm in marketing. She goes, you probably know the company I work for. It's been a little bit in the news lately. Isn't that special? I said, do you work for Bud Light? She goes, yes. My life has been a living hell for, I don't know, has it been 2-3 weeks? I had so many questions. I said, can I interview you? And she said yes. So I sat down on her lap. Go say hi. I sat on her lap. And I just started firing off questions. I said, look, I'm a comedian, and I'm fascinated by this. And I didn't tell her about my Bud Light parody video at the time. Because here's the thing. I live in a very liberal state, so I have to be a little careful about showing people my comedy right away. It's really sad, but I have had women break up with me or break off a date because they saw my stuff. Like, before the date even happened. They'll be like, oh, I looked you up, and like, yeah, sorry. No, it's too extreme for me that you joke about everything. But I'm going to cherry pick and see the things that you make fun of in my little special group, and I'm going to call you far right or conservative or whatever. So then she says, I like Tim Dillon. And I said, okay, I have been given the green card to now tell her about my video. I said, if you like Tim Dillon, you're definitely going to be okay with my comedy. And I told her about the video. She's like, oh my God, I have to see this. She goes, trust me, I'm not woke at all. So I got the inside scoop of somebody that's actually in that office. And she said, all hell is breaking loose. She said it is a fucking war. And she's in the marketing team. And then it hit me like a bomb. I completely forgot I was hired by Bud Light to help them make comedy like, I don't know, 7 years ago. I was hired by Bud Light. And how the fuck did I forget this? I can't believe I forgot this. So Bud Light brings me in to do stand-up and then to teach their marketing team what comedy is. So they really fucked up. They fucked up in so many ways. They had this fork in the road. And I remember they were like starting to go a little woke. And we had to explain like why comedy is good to sell products. It was a wild job. I wasn't doing much corporate stuff, but I had to go in, write all these jokes, we actually did I think I signed a non-disclosure act, but at this point in time, I think the least of their worries is suing me for talking about this. So we're in a comedy club, and I'm saying I'm doing my act. So I think I went on, did 10 minutes for the whole Bud Light marketing team. Killed it. It was like 11 a.m., so it was a very strange time to do stand-up. But I did all sorts of jokes and took all types of risks, did some safe stuff, some crazy stuff, and then I did a TED Talk. I did a TED Talk in comedy. You can't teach comedy. You can't. You kind of can. You can teach some points of it. And I got really excited because I thought, oh, maybe they'll involve me in their campaign. Like these companies are so stupid. They have all these copywriters who are from NYU and Columbia and fucking whatever college. They're not funny at all, but they have such an ego about their copywriting. I've worked with these people on many occasions when I did commercials where I would improvise and come up with funny shit, and then the writer would be on set and they'd get all pissed off because I just took their copy and made it super funny, or I'm at least adding tags, and you want to have a funny little ending on it. So I was feeling pretty confident that they would hire me to write a comedy campaign for them because, Budweiser, like all of their funny shit, it hit so much, probably in the 90s, and so they were looking to have a resurgence on that. And what these stupid companies should do is hire a comedian and let them go to town and write a commercial campaign. And if you get a quality comedian with good writing, you hire some good actors, you can come up with some funny shit. And they didn't do that. So I think that was their fork in the road after that meeting. They went down their own stupid rabbit hole, and so she just said fucking shit is hitting the fan, and she wants to quit. So it sounds absolutely chaotic over there right now, and good. I'm having so much fun with this boycott. Usually I'm not on board with the boycott stuff, but this one, man, it's you having fun with it. I love it. I love seeing the fully stocked refrigerators of Bud Light, and they're overflowing in the supermarket and nobody's buying them. And I'm not sure if you saw the video of their new like head of marketing or whatever this cunt's name is. But this was the real issue, was this leaked video where she said, like, we're really like have to move on from like this variety kind of like outdated humor. Like, what do you mean? Like the humor that made your company the number one brand because the commercials were so fucking funny? That is why you should boycott it. Not because it's not Dylan Mulvaney's fault. Look, as a content creator, as somebody who's got sponsorships before, he's killing it. Leave him alone. It's not his fault. It's their fault. Trust me. God only knows what types of ads I would do if people threw that type of money at me. God only knows. And I'm sure a lot of you would do the same thing. If somebody wrote you a check for $150,000 and was like, hey, can you advertise Steve's swastikas? Steve's got a new, small business. He's selling swastikas. Here's 200. You'd be like, yes, I'll do it if you want. Sure, what you want, I'll do it. You never know what you would do for money. So it's not Dylan Mulvaney. It's the fucking stupid cunt CEO or head of whatever marketing that completely shit on their entire customer base. Fire her. That was such an easy fix. You're fired. You're fired. You bring Trump in. Bring him in. Are you kidding me, dude? They should have had a video where Donald Trump waltzed into that company, slow motion. They're following him, couple fucking cool camera angles. You see the side of his head. You go, whoa, little pan in on the red tie, right? And you go, that can't be. And he walks up and says, excuse me, frankly, you're fired. No, you're a nasty woman and you're fired. Completely shitting on your base. You're fired. You fucked up and you're fired. That's what they should have done. Are you kidding me, dude? Whew. That would have been the move. That would have been the move, you know? Or Trump dressed up as a trans person. Who does it? Kyle Dunnigan does a trans Trump. I'm trans. He does trans Trump. It's so funny. I have some information about Kyle Dunnigan. I'm not going to say it. It's good news, but I'm not going to say it. I can't say it. Nothing. You didn't hear anything. Nothing. Espresso's kicking in. I'm holding my tongue. Something happened. I can't say it. So anyhow, they should have fired her and they should have apologized. And it does seem like the anger went from Dylan. It's now on Bud Light. Like I said, anybody would take the paycheck and look. Mentally ill, sick people are gonna do sick shit all the time. You can't. That's why I said if you saw my episode with Viva Fry, and check it out. Lawyer out of Canada. The guy became an absolute internet sensation. Started doing these videos breaking down anything that's happening in the news around law to like a real sort of easy, digestible way. But a fantastic guy, and we had a fun interview, and we talked a little bit about this. And I said, I don't hate Dylan Mulvaney. I don't hate anybody. Don't waste your time hating people. If you hate somebody, that's a good sign. Check in with yourself, because that's resentment, and that shit will kill you. I have people that hate me so much, have said it publicly. I see them around. I see them at comedy clubs. They hate me so much. You know what I do to handle that? Nothing. I go and I do my job. I don't take part in the gossip. I don't hate them. I pray for them, because someone like that and someone like Dylan Mulvaney, whatever, cool. He, fuck. He, she, fuck. I'm having it. I'm like a fucking woke robot, and someone just like poured water in me because I can't handle this shit anymore. I can't keep up with it. So let's actually talk about it, because I wanted to talk to Viva about the whole trans thing. And so I want to break it down, because it's driving me fucking insane trying to figure out, what does this mean? The whole country is so confused. We have a tiny, tiny percentage of 1% of the people who identify as trans, and it is tearing this country apart. It really is. I'm calling for a national divorce. I want out. I can't live with somebody who thinks a man can be a woman. I just can't. We've reached the end. We've had a lot of contentious, really difficult, divisive topics in the past. I can't get over this one. This one, I don't see a way out. And I really think if you think a man can become an actual woman, biological woman, by cutting his dick off and having some weird lumpy tits, you know, or taking part of their forearm and building what I could only assume is a very disturbing looking penis, then go live in Delaware. That's it. I figured it out, because it's probably a much smaller, if you really believe this and you're willing to, get on camera and say it publicly that you really think that, go live in Delaware. I've thought about it all day. I thought, what are we going to do? The divorce, the dividing up the states? No, put them all in Delaware. Nobody cares about Delaware. Sorry. I know Joe Biden's here from Delaware. Your grandma grew up in Wilmington, Delaware. My grandma's a treasure person. Come on, man. I know, but my great grandmother invented the trans surgery. I used to sit there and watch her give the hormone pills to trans people. Come on, put them in Delaware. How many people do you think it could be? 1 million people? 5 million? 10 million? You live in Delaware now. That's where you live. You can't leave. You live in Delaware. You fucking get your booster shots every 5 weeks. You go. You get to sit and watch children get their genitals mutilated. That's your new life. The only liquid sold at the grocery store is Bud Light. So you sit around, you drink your Bud Lights, you all chopping your dicks off and your tits off and gluing tits on dicks and tits on ticks and just switching it. Everybody's all going to be these mangled, confused, mentally ill people, and now you live in Delaware. I don't know how else we're going to do it. So, what I'm trying to figure out is there such thing as a trans person? And I want to get messy with this. I want this to be a clip that somebody tries to get me fired with, but then realizes I'm only working with the Daily Wire and places like that, so they're not going to fire me. If you're a trans person, okay, I'm a trans person. I'm trans, which means I'm transitioning from a man to a woman. Okay, Tyler, how long have you felt like that? I've always felt like that. I've always known I was actually a woman. So then how in God's fucking name can you be a trans person? How could you transition into something that you always were? So I don't think there is such thing as trans people. I don't think there's anything such thing as trans. We have to start getting clear on the terms of this. Our speech in this country, our vocabulary, our definitions are getting so sloppy and so messy, we got to take a step back. I am not willing to say that trans even exists. If you have it's somebody with gender dysphoria, that's what it is. And then you, if you know this person, get to make your own assessment, and you get to see what kind of help did they get. Did they go to a psychologist? Or do they go to some, woke seminar at NYU? What kind of treatment have they gotten? How much have they been challenged to figure out if that is exactly what's wrong with them? Then you get to make your own adult assessment and say, am I going to call this man a she because I really feel like he is mixed up, has gender dysphoria, and is really feels like a woman, and I know them, and I know they're not pulling a fast one on me, because that's the problem now, because I'd say the majority of people who say they're trans now actually aren't. They're completely fucking over the people with gender dysphoria who actually suffer, and this perhaps over a course of years of therapy and psychology and all that stuff have said, you know what, calling myself a girl is I'm just going to do that. And then you get to make your decision if you want to go along with it. I know somebody who identifies as trans in comedy, and I actually am okay calling him a she, because they did this as an adult, and it's been, I don't know, a long time, 10, 15 years. And so, okay, that's my right to make that decision and say, I really think this person feels like a she, and so I would call him a she. Fuck! It's just so confusing. It's so confusing. And I honestly think it's really tearing this country apart. Whew. You know what else is tearing this country apart? Credit cards. I just went to CVS to pay for something. I was getting, I think, a bottle of water. There are 500 ways to pay for a fucking bottle of water now. Because this is what's happening. We're letting the stupidest people in this country, the laziest people in this country, call all the shots and make all the decisions. Do you remember when you go to the grocery store and you would just swipe your card? It'd say, cash your card. Card. Okay, swipe your card. Some stupid lazy fuck was like, this is too much. Who has the time for the swipe? And they probably tweeted at American Express and like, we want something else. We want the tap. We want to just tap it or instant. And then the chip. And then the chip. So now, if you go to CVS, there's all these different machines where you can do all these. It's like playing the fucking drums. You can take your card and do all these things, and they'll present you with an option. So the cashier was like, hey, do you want to swipe your card? Do you like to insert the chip? Would you like to give it a little tappy tap? Waft it in front of the sensor? What do you want to do, jazz hands with the card? I was like, do you have a fucking chip reader in your ass? I'm going to shove this so far up your ass because I'm going to miss my shit. Because I do. Would you like to insert the chip into my ass? Swipe it between my cheeks? Tickle it on my ass? I was like, I'll tickle it. Whatever gets me out of here faster. Because the dumb people are starting to call the shots. And it's got to end. It's got to end. Again, it's not their fault. It's not their fault. Society's got to shut this shit down. Shut it down. Or move to Delaware. Those are the only options. I want to live in a state where there's one way to use a credit card. There's biological men, biological women, quality beer that doesn't taste like piss. Because, by the way, I've been boycotting Bud Light before it was fucking cool. Everyone's boycotting. I'm like, I boycotted Bud Light when I was 11 years old. When I took my first sip of Bud Light and said, this tastes like piss. And yes, I had drank piss at the time because kids do that. Kids will drink their own piss to see what it tastes like. And that's how long I've been boycotting Bud Light. So maybe at the end of the day, the question shouldn't be, why is a trans person, a man with maybe gender dysphoria or some kind of severe narcissistic personality disorder on the can of a Bud Light? The real question should be, why are you drinking Bud Light? What is going wrong in your life that you're that deprived of pleasure and quality beverages that you're drinking Bud Light? I remember going to London and seeing a Bud Light on the menu, and I said, what the fuck are you doing? You guys have such great beers over here. Why do you have Bud Light? And he said, a lot of people drink Bud Light. And I said, yeah, well, in 20 years, you mark my words, in 20 years, a gay guy is going to start growing little lumpy tits. He's going to say he's a woman. Everyone's going to be on board with it. They're going to put him on the can of a Bud Light, and then you're not going to serve it. He said, we're having a laugh. I said, we're not having a laugh. We're not having a laugh. Jolly good. We're not having a laugh. This is going to happen. And he said, we'll see. And we did see, didn't we? Didn't we, Greg? Huh? Who's got full Bud Light kegs up the ass right now? So, that's what's happening. And aside from that, what else happened this week? I got to perform after Ray Romano. That was crazy. I feel like I'm living in some kind of weird dream simulation. Everything feels so strange. Performing with Ray Romano. Men claiming to be women, feminists going along with it on a manly, pretty straight white or straight dude frat beer can. What's happening right now? Trump being indicted. Biden dying, probably. He just announced he's running for president, and unbelievable. Shut it down. He's going to be 86, I think, the end of his next term. He could be the first president to be assassinated by wind. So I don't know if he's going to make it. Today, President Biden viciously murdered by a light gust of wind. He was blown down a flight of stairs, then blown up a flight of stairs defying the laws of gravity. He slipped on a banana peel. His final words were, "Come on, man. I'm dying here. It's not a joke. I'm not joking around. Smash my head on the chairs. Come on. It's not hyperbole. I'm dying." Oh, God. No one's even talking about Kamala Harris, who's going to take over. Jesus Christ. That's scary. She will be president. She will be the president. Could you imagine if we go to World War III and we have to hear her giving a State of the Union address explaining how she's going to take on Xi Jinping.
We have a fleet of yellow school buses. And we have far more school buses than China has. With the amount of yellow school buses that we have, we will easily be able to outbus China with their lack of yellow school buses. Speaking of buses, I was bused to school as a child. Joe Biden, rest in peace, supported busing.
Scary thought. Scary, scary thought. Well, folks, I got to get to the old comedy club to try to talk about some of this stuff on stage and see how it goes. So, wish me luck. But thanks for watching, and please check out my locals page, tylerfisher.locals.com. It's where I put my videos up first, and when I have guests on the show, I will be doing longer episodes, bonus parts of the episode, just for locals supporters. And you can ask questions of my guests. Amala from PragerU will be on, I think, May 6th. So we're going to try to live stream that if we're all good to go. Still having some technical issues. But that said, I hope you have a wonderful weekend and do something nice for yourselves. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I'll see you guys next week. Have an awesome weekend.